A warm welcome to everyone on Radio Diva. My name is Divya, and I'm super excited to talk about this topic because with so many career options, people have gone confused, and so have their children. And this is the right time to address this because how a parent can be instrumental in you know in molding a child's career is so important. So let's straight away jump into the topic. Before a little introduction of Radio Diva. Radio Diva started during lockdown. It's gonna complete almost 3 years now. We started during lockdown just as a platform for vent out, but eventually, we felt the need of mental health, and we started doing sessions. Now, you know, it has been more than 2 years, and we have addressed so many issues, right from grief, loneliness, suicide, you name the issue, and we have addressed it on Radio Diva. We are just trying our little bit. It's a voluntary initiative. We are trying our little bit to create awareness. क्योंकि awareness इस चीज की नहीं है. And of course, there is a long battle, and it's not a straightforward battle. We do understand. But yes, we are super excited to do at least our bit. And let's jump into the topic. And I will request all of you to subscribe, share, like Radio Diva's YouTube page, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's our little family, it's growing big. And we be part of this happy-go-lucky community. And it will be an awesome ride. And of course, I can't do it alone. Let's do it together. Let's create awareness together. So, all set for today's topic. We have Poonam with us, and super excited to hear it from her. She is a neuro and psychosomatic therapist. She's currently working with Government of South Africa as a community service practitioner. She has worked with kids and helping them clear this dilemma because, I think especially the phase between 17 to 25, after that also for many, it's a phase of dilemma. So Poonam is doing an amazing job of helping kids and helping parents. So all said, Poonam, thank you so much for being part of this initiative.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you for giving me this platform to talk about it. Thank you.
Yeah, so happy to have you. So all yours. Why did you pick up this this forte, like this specialization? Why did you feel the need for it?
If the specialization of the mental health you're talking about, so the thing is, it's still a big taboo. People don't talk about it much. Yet it's something that should be taken care of very, very carefully. It's a very fragile thing when it comes to a human body. And the thing which you can see, like an injury or anything like that which is tangible and visible, have always been given importance. But when it comes to mental health, which is, you cannot see it, but yet people are suffering from it, it gets really difficult to express what a person is going through. So I think to help somebody dealing with the problems like this, that was the first reason I chose to be in this career.
Yeah, I think you are right. It's not visible, but the scar is much more deeper than a physical scar.
Indeed.
Right. And I also believe in psychosomatic a lot. I was reading your intro and I was like thinking, psychosomatic is everything. It's such an important thing that everybody needs to know about it.
Definitely.
Yes. So without much delay, our today's topic is something else. So let's get into. So what is the mentality of kids at a younger age? Are they serious about career, or how to make them serious? Some kids are naturally very serious, but some kids are happy-go-lucky. They are just happy, enjoying life. How do we go about making our child serious for their career?
All right. So how does it work is kids are very different from the adult. So the way we see the world, the way we react, our perspective and everything is totally different from how a kid sees the world. So for them, the things are a lot black and white. Either they're happy, they're going to be smiling, laughing, or they're sad, they're going to be crying. And as we grow old, there's a lot of gray areas in between where we start learning hiding our emotions, hiding our feelings, hiding our thoughts. So, what exactly happens is when a kid is young, and nowadays, the main reason for me to choose this topic was nowadays I'm seeing so many parents, regardless of what exactly kid is thinking, they are pushing their kids beyond their limit. So at this point of time, kid is already dealing with a pressure, depression, and stress at that young age, because constantly nowadays a kid is thinking about. I'm talking about the kid who's like under 10 years of age. So I'll be talking about the kids of that age gap, that spectrum in this session. So that age, baby is facing a lot of stress about fulfilling the dreams of their parents, about being known to everyone, about being famous, and so many things which the parents expect them to be. So regardless of what kid wants, nowadays parents are forcing their incomplete dreams onto the kids. So this is making the kid going into the worrisome, into the stress, which is not really their age to do so. So instead of giving them free and relaxed life, an open environment and a park-like place to play, lots of kids nowadays are bonded to their iPad, YouTube's, internet, and even if they are learning, it's not a right way to learn. So this is one thing where I think a kid's mentality at this is, unfortunately, I'm just going to be sharing a quick case with you. I had a very young baby. She was like in 4th standard or something. She was a very good student. So she was suffering from a severe depression. Good scholar marks, everything, coming always first in the class. So when I started taking her session, after 3 or 4 sessions, because there was no problem, parents were good, siblings were good, friends, she has got her friends, she was teaching that and everything. So after 3 sessions, when you dissect the case, I got to know that the problem was she was scared because she thought my parents are loving me because I'm always getting first position or first rank in the class. So every time the guest or anybody or the friends or anybody comes in, so parents were showing the pictures of kid getting the first rank, standing in the first row, and mark sheets and everything. So now the kid is thinking that they love me up until I'm scoring good, I'm getting good ranks, and the moment I lose this, I lose that. So that was very unfortunate. So they don't know that their parents love them no matter what. Yeah.
Right. So unknowingly, you are saying ki, we are burdening our children with our expectations. It's not intentional, but just
Yes.
our show off, our 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 pride moments is adding extra
Yes.
burden to the child,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Word of appreciation is really good, and everybody understand it, and everybody appreciate it, and everybody likes to be appreciated. But at the same time, there should be a thin line so that kids don't think that only they're gonna love me only when I'm into the certain place, only when I'm successful, or only when I'm getting a first rank. If I lose that, I'm gonna lose all the love from my parents. That should not be there.
Okay, so they equate love with those appreciation in front of others is not taken as an act of love or a pride. It's taken as
Mm-hmm.
a act of I'm getting love because of this achievement.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, so how careful a parent has to be.
very much, very much.
Right, right.
The
So
way of interpreting and deciphering the code is absolutely unique and different. We need to be very careful when it comes to kids.
right, right. And how do you so how can we help without pressurizing? I think I'll come straight to I will address the lion in the room. So how do we help our children without being pushy, without making it obvious, without making it on their face subtly?
All right. So I'm going to come to that too. And there's a lot of teeny tiny tips which you need to follow. It's not like a rule book or something. It's just a very small bunch of tips which you just need to follow, and then you'll be good to go. So I think for my suggestion to all of you is give very limited access to internet, because that internet is growing kids beyond their age. So the internet, it's like a weapon. You can use it as a weapon to self-defense, and you can use it as a weapon to harm yourself or to harm others. So unlimited access to internet, I'll tell everybody to, especially if the kid is under 10 years of age. If the kid is very young, like 2.5 years, 3 years, lots of autism has been seen in the kids due to the exposure of the screen of the phone. And if you leave that, if the kid grows out of the age where they cannot get autism, and I'm talking about the age after 5 years. So what's happening is the internet's almost free everywhere. You can get access everywhere and anywhere. There's no limitation, there's no boundaries. And they're watching things, they're seeing things, they're learning about it, which they should not know at that particular age. So all the parents must actually give their kids unlimited access to internet. That's one big tip which I wanted to give to everybody in this session specifically.
But how do we do that? And especially if the child is a bit grown up, you can't get into a fight with the child.
Exactly.
Like my daughter is still 10 and she has a very limited uses of internet. Like an hour a day, she watches YouTube or whatever, but that too on the TV. And it's a strict rule in the house, no mobile phones. Whatever you watch it on TV. But it's also because she is the only child and I keep a very sharp eye on her. But what about parents whose children are a bit grown up, or children who eat while watching mobile phones? This has become a new trend that children don't eat and they eat while watching the internet.
That's what they have done to the kids. It has made the kids, all of the kids, addicted to it. So if the kid is already addicted, so like if your kid is really young and you still have something in your hands, so I suggest you not to start using internet in front of the kids at all. But if your kid is already addicted, so instead of taking out everything from the kid, like snatching it out from the kid, that's going to make kids aggressive. So instead of snatching the things out from the kid, just taper it down slowly. So for example, if the kid is having the exposure of screen for like 6 hours in a day, make it 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. For example, if the kid is watching anything, something while the kid is eating, not enjoying the food properly. So what you can do is you can let the kid eat up until you feel, okay, this much he has eaten and I'm satisfied, but he can still eat more. So that time you switch off the phone and tell the kid that no, end few parts you have to eat without your YouTube. So even you are satisfied and the kid is fine. Like that, after a few days, you stop the phone or internet in between the food. And after a few days, you stop the phone or internet in the beginning of the food. And then just show the phone or screen once and then take it out and ask the kid to eat. So, basically it's a taper down activity. Like how you do with the drugs, you withdraw it slowly. You cannot just pull out. So that thing, that's
so it has to be a gradual process. It can't be done. Yeah, it can't be done like okay, one fine day you announce, because that will lead to rebellion, that will have grudges, which will have deep impact on their personality, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right, but internet has become a big issue.
It
I
is.
mean, Jayaji is sharing the link of our Radio Diva channel and all that. But I know it's important to grow, important to reach out to people. So I'll request all of you, please subscribe and please, this video will be available on Radio Diva, so you can always share it with others, and then people can educate themselves later also. So, uh, tell us more tell us more about the acquired personality. What is that?
Yeah. So the next thing which I wanted to talk about is the acquired personality. Nowadays, how, like, our generation, like how we grow up, like how we took our personality was like totally not influenced or minimally influenced. Nowadays, what's happening is acquired personality is something which is a mixture of a media, parents' ideal, forced passion, and a pleasing personality. So I'll start with the media. For example, a kid is watching a show in which the lead actor is a policeman. So a kid wanted to be a cop, wanted to choose a career as a cop. A kid is watching a show in which a lead actor is a doctor. So now the kid wanted to be a doctor. This is called media influenced personality. So
Right.
it's
So
not
see
what we
children
want.
talking like Doraemon, children talking like Chota
Mhm.
Bheem, not
Yeah,
children using Indian children using foreign accents because they are watching foreign, they are watching videos which are US based or UK based, and they are
yes.
trying to imitate those accents and talking, and and parents, feeling good that, oh, my child talks in such an accent.
Yeah, but it's
That
actually
is
not their child talking. It's a quiet personality. It's
right.
something they are imitating. It's not your true, like, it's not the kid. It's not the kid's original personality. It's the acquired personality, whatever they like from the media. They try to be like that. Okay. So,
So there is a question
sorry.
in the
Yeah.
group. I'll request all
Mhm.
of you, if you have any question, either you can unmute and ask, or you can, write it on the chat box. So Dr. Rajiv wants to know, if both the parents are working and child is being taken care by the ayah at home, usually she put the TV on or give mobile to kid. Any solution can you suggest, Dr. Poonam? I think that's a very important and a valid question. Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Rajiv, for asking. Yes,
Mhm.
please go ahead,
Yeah,
Poonam.
so nowadays, like it happens like in all the alternate houses, like both the parents are working and kids had been taken care to by the nanny or the ayah. So first of all, maximum time your kid is spending with the ayah or the nannies. When you are hiring a nanny, okay, first of all, you should make sure that nanny or the ayah should be responsible enough to know about these consequences of kids, what a kid needs to watch, what not to watch, how many, like how much of time the kid needs to spend into the screen, how much of time a kid needs to spend into the activities, or go to the park, go outside, talk to people, and everything. So this should be clarified when you are hiring a person for your kid. Because if a person is taking care of the kid more than the parents are there is a chances that kid is gonna acquire the personality of that person. So nowadays, if you hire a nanny or a ayah or anything, there should be a proper supervision and everything should be made clear in the beginning itself. That this particular time schedule, this particular thing a kid needs to follow, and that needs to be under supervision. You need to have a random check, random audit at home, that on that particular time, if the ayah is making the kid to do that particular activities or not. If the kid has been taken out to the park or to the open areas to play with the other kids or not. Are the kids prone to watching all the things they don't want the kid to watch? And again, I'm talking about the limited access to internet. So if you make everything clear in the beginning of the hiring any of the person, that could be taken care of.
But that, I'll be very honest with you, getting a right help is such a big issue.
It
Then,
is.
further having a help who, who's sensitive, who, doesn't indulge in talking to her own husband, boyfriend, whomever, and I have seen, in like peak summer, nanny making the kid walk around the park and busy talking over the phone. Child is out. So it's a very sad state of affairs. Getting the right
Yes,
maid is a problem, but
it is.
getting a maid is a problem. Getting the right help is a bigger problem. But I'm sure, we will have to do this. I think putting the
Yes.
camera with the sound
Yes.
facility
Mm-hmm.
can be done, and ensuring that, you, even if you're not there, you keep a keen eye on what is happening, because you can't loosen your grip when it comes to your child, I think.
Yeah, and very important thing is you talk to your kid when you come
Yes,
back from your
yes,
work.
yes,
Talk to your kid. Give them a comfortable environment to speak about how was the day. So
very true.
that's very important. So anything that happens, at least the kid will be very much aware that my parents are taking care of me, asking me question how my day was. They wanted to know how am I feeling and everything. And if you start the small things from the beginning of the life, so kid will get used to these things, and he is going to tell you about the day even when he's old enough. So it starts
Right.
from the beginning.
Right. I think some of the things, okay, he's thanking you. Thank you, doctor, for asking this question. I'm sure, this question is in the mind of many others. So, what is the importance of choosing a hobby, Dr. Poonam? Why do you think that,
Mhm.
a special attention has to be given to this aspect?
Okay, the importance of choosing hobby, it's what make you yourself. For example, if a kid has been forced to go to karate classes, drawing classes, music classes, swimming classes, and everything, and has been forced for all the hobbies, like how nowadays parents are treating their kids, sending as many classes as they can and showing it off. That's not the right way. Choosing a right hobby here is going to impact, and it's going to make you from the scratch, from the core of yourself. That is your strength. That will be with you throughout your life. That's going to make what you are today. So give the child a chance to explore. It's like if you want to send the child to the karate classes or the music or drawing or any other classes, if you're not sure what the kid wants exactly, let them go to all the classes, and then next day or after few days, after few session, ask the kid, which class do you want to go now? The kid will be able to answer. So always one person should be, they are always interested in one certain things. It's not like a kid wanted to be everything at once. So give the chance to kid to think about it, to explore everything and then choose. I'm not saying that you shouldn't send your kids to, multiple, uh, like multiple hobby centers. So if you send your kid to everywhere and then give it a break, and then you ask your kid, which classes do you like the most? Where do you want to go? And then kid will definitely answer you that I enjoyed this the most. And then you know what your kid's hobby is. That's going to be with your kids throughout their life. If not as a profession, but as a passion. It could be profession, it could be just as a passion, but that's going to be the core strength of your kid. And that's very important.
Right, right. And as Aparna writes it truly, everyone wants to make their child multi-talented.
Mhm.
So how we start making them in a right? I'm talking about 2-year-old. So so everyone wants a child to have multiple
Everyone.
passions, multiple fortes.
Mhm.
So what do you do for a 2-year-old child?
Yeah. So the main motive of my this session was this, that we are confusing the child from the beginning, from the very beginning. We wanted to be so many things. I wanted to be a guitarist, a drawing master, and swimmer and everything. And I couldn't be any of those, so I want my kids to be all of them. So that's of the confusion. Imagine somebody sending you, giving you lots of options, and suddenly one day, the same person who has given you lots of options throughout your life, asking you to choose a career. Like you clear your 12th, and then your parents will be like, now what you wanted to be? So the kid will obviously have a question mark and look into the parents and like, you were choosing so many things for me till now. What now? You tell me what to do. Because they have been dependent to their parents, because the parents were sending them to so many places. There have been so much of dependency that they won't be able to choose for themselves. They won't be able to know the answer that what they exactly wanted to become. So doing this, sending your kids into the various things, various parts, should be used just to explore the various options. You know, you shouldn't keep on sending your kids to too many things. Yeah, that was my main motive.
Right. So maybe one activity a day, will you prescribe that? Instead of running from one to the other and then to the
So
third.
you let the kid explore all the activities, even if they're doing 2-3 classes in a day. What I wanted you all to just give a child a break in between. Like for 1 week, if you're sending a kid for some sessions, like in morning karate, afternoon drawing, and evening something, swimming or something, then give break of 3 or 4 days and wait for the child to respond which class they wanted to go in.
Okay, so basically, taking the child along instead of imposing.
Exactly.
Let them explore, let them go for it. So, okay, which is the right age to send your child in play schools? Aparna wants to know.
Okay, so the right age actually varies, depend on how much attention a kid is getting at home. So if both the parents are available, if one of the parents are available, or if the caretaker is your own person, and if you can rely on them, then there's no need to send your kids to a play school at very early stage. The primary motive of a play school, it's not just to teach kids alphabets and numbers and everything. The primary motive of the play school is to make the kids get socialized with other. Otherwise, they won't be having the concept of socialization. So that is the motive of sending the kids to the play school. In the play school, kids don't learn anything literally. Like they're just playing around, making themselves comfortable. They're taking a nap there, eating there, and lots of other stuff, playing around. So technically, they're just socializing. So, for example, if both the parents are working and if you have very limited access to the caretaker, then I'll prescribe you send your kids to the play school as early as possible, because socialization is what we all need. That start from the scratch, from the beginning, from the very beginning.
Right. And, I mean, absolutely rightly pointed out. Like if you are not able to give, instead of staying just with the help and learning the tactics of the way of talking and acquiring the behavior and personality of just the help, let the child be with the kids, because as such,
Yeah.
kids love to be with kids and they get to play and just be happy about it. Perfect, perfect. So any other question? Anything else that you think that, Poonam, you want to point out how, fruitful behavior manipulation, how we can, uh,
Yeah.
we can do it smartly and
Yes.
without,
Yet
without,
the kid don't know about it.
yes, you get it.
Yes. So it's a main question from a lot of my parents. So how the kid respond and how the kid reacts to the thing is absolutely like different from the adults. For example, if somebody is shouting at me or yelling at me, I know that's I've done something wrong. That's why they're yelling at me or shouting at me. If somebody is smiling at me and giving me attention, I'll definitely know I've done something right. But with the kids, it's not like that. Any kind of attention you're giving it to them, they take it as appreciation. So even if you're yelling at kid or shouting at kid, they'll take it as an appreciation that my parents, they're caring about me no matter what I do. So they don't have that capacity, or they're too young to differentiate in between right and wrong. So well, in that state, you observe your kid. You observe your kid. There must definitely be something that your kid loves, and there must definitely be something that your kids absolutely, absolutely hate. So you pick those two behaviors and use those two behaviors as a reinforcement or a reward and a punishment. Every time your kid does something right, you reward it, something right, reward it, or give it a prize in the form of what the kid loves the most. And every time a kid make any kind of mistakes or any maladaptive behavior, or any kind of thing which you don't want the kids to do, then you know what to do. You just pick out the things which they absolutely hate and do that. They don't have the concept of right, wrong, shouting, yelling, getting angry, beating up, or anything. That's not going to help. Everything they perceive as attention. And now in future, they'll become attention deficit. So they'll do more of that to get attention of their parents.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's important.
Yeah. So we can use child's own vocabulary, child's own perspective, take out the things from there, and we can use it to correct our kids' behavior when they are like really young. So this is how we can smartly manipulate the behavior of the kids. It's a very fine line, like how much friendship you should carry your children, how much of strictness you should carry. There were so many parents who asked me about, if we're not going to yell at the kid and if you're not going to shout at my kid, he'll be like very aggressive and they'll not listen to us, will be stubborn. But there's very fine line which you have to maintain. You have to guide and yet be precise.
Right, right. So Dr. Rajiv has another question. Should mother show the rhymes in mobile? As of now, days, and nobody is having time to sing and dance in front of the baby. I totally agree with you, Dr. Rajiv, that no one has the time to, do all that. But here, as a mother, I will share ki whatever you want to show, don't show it to them on the mobile. Show it to them on a TV,
On a TV.
on a bigger screen, so that becomes a habit. Like my child knows that she cannot touch the mobile. She is 10-year-old now, and now she knows that anything that she has to watch, it has to be on TV. So now if I don't give her mobile, it won't be a big crime because she is not used to it. But once the child get used to the rhymes and all, then once they grow up, they want it because you have given it to them. So let's go back to good old days. I give 1 hour to my daughter, so so it depends. Maybe in breaks, like half an hour now, because it's a small child, so half an hour. I don't know. I mean, Dr.
It should not be very long. It should not be very long. That's the first thing. And even if you wanted to show some show or anything, even if your kid is watching a series or anything that is like really 1 hour thing, you talk to your kid in between. What are you watching? What is this girl doing? You just don't let your kid engage into that thing completely and thoroughly.
Yes,
keep talking to the kid. Keep talking to the kid in between. Ask questions. Ask what you want to eat while you're watching this. Let me make you something. Let me get you a glass of water.
Now, again, I have a rule. I will share it with all the parents here. I don't let my child eat and watch TV because then the child doesn't eat mindfully. So the rule is you finish your eating and then watch TV. She really pleads, Mom, today I really want to eat and watch TV. But that's a strict rule. No. I mean, you can't mix two things together. Eating has to be done mindfully.
Exactly. That's a perfect thing to do, actually.
But I think right age of putting all this curbs is important, because if you don't do it when they are small, once they grow, they will.
That's really difficult.
Yes, I totally agree. Okay, is it a good habit to watch cartoons while eating? How to get rid of it?
No, actually not. No. It's not a good thing because, there's something called operant conditioning. So every time you watch a cartoon, you're going to eat. You watch a cartoon and you're eating. And sometimes you lose the regulator of your appetite. And then no matter if you're hungry or not, if you're watching a cartoon and it's not your time to eat, you feel like eating something. So there should not be a connection in between these two things, no matter what they're watching. And watching cartoon is like engrossing the kids completely into that. They're not going to be enjoying the food. They're going to be dependent onto that. And it'll be difficult for the parents to, to wean off, to taper off the things in the later stages. So I don't recommend that at all.
Right. So, like these are things about smaller kids, about
Mm-hmm.
grown-ups. Say, for example, if the child is in 10th, 12th, or above that, how do we, as parents, it becomes very difficult because we feel tied up. I mean, especially parents of
Yes.
older children, they know that they cannot scream at the child, and given the consequences that you keep hearing, you are
Mm-hmm.
scared of engaging, but still the argument thing increases with every passing day. How do you
Definitely.
maintain a cordial friendship with your child without, and help the child without
Mm-hmm.
without getting into an argument?
Yeah. So this session was particularly I was talking about the kid below 10, but that question is for above 10 kids, right?
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
this is all the things you can do with the when the kid is like still under your control. But
Right.
once the kid has crossed 12, they are a different, alien, you can say. They are not come under the categories of adult. They are not kids, and they are literally confused into that stage, and that frustration is turning into argument every time they're talking to their parents. So first of all the parents must understand just one thing, that their kid is going through a lot of phases at this stage. So they have to be patient. That's the first thing. And then you have to maintain a very healthy relationship. You cannot yell at your kid when your kid is above 12. You cannot shout at your kid. You cannot force anything onto your kid. And yet you have to guide your kid at every step. There's a path which is taking you to somewhere. So, now your kid is all grown out from your lap. So you cannot carry the kid and walk into that path. But you have to tell your kid which path is right for you. So you have to guide your kid accordingly, but yet cannot force anything on the kid. Once the kid is above 12, it gets really difficult to manage. Then you
Right.
have to maintain very healthy relationship. Yeah.
Right. So maybe instead of telling it all the time, you plan a date, a coffee date with your child, and then
Mm-hmm.
subtly, in between conversation, you put, "Okay, okay, this is something I noticed, and this is my opinion. The rest up to you," kind of a thing.
Yes, you have a healthy conversation with your kid.
Right,
You
right.
talk to the kid, give them the room, a comfort zone to talk about everything they want. At the same time, you maintain the level of being a parent, so that they won't take you for granted as well. So sitting on the top always, but yet maintaining that healthy relationship is important. Sometimes parents get so friendly with the kids, then again they start taking their parents for granted. Even that is not healthy. And sometimes the parents are so strict, the kids are, literally hiding each and everything from the parents. Even that is not healthy. So ideal parenting should lie somewhere in between that. Your kid must always know that you are their parents, and yet they'll be comfortable enough to talk to you about everything that happens throughout the day.
And I'm sure you will agree that there is nothing called ideal parenting. You try and do your you try and do your best.
It's a myth.
It's a trial and error, and you keep
Yes.
trying to different things, and you don't know what works. So tell me one thing. You are like, say for example, you are not strict as a parent, but
Mhm.
you have assertively say the child whenever you have to say. But
Mhm.
if a child does a mistake, you never scold the child. You make it very easy. Okay, you can admit anything and everything to me because I won't make a big monster out of it. But if
Mhm.
your child still lies, I mean, recently someone was sharing that my child lies to me, and it's heartbreaking. Then what should a parent do?
I think they should be, when a child lies to, it's like completely falling under a different kind of maladaptive behavior. So the talking and the conversation, that thing won't help here. So again, like how I said, you have to pick from the child's behavior two things, like most favorite and least favorite things. That thing can be used here. Like if your child is talking lying to you constantly, or if a child is doing something that they should not do, and still, even after talking, it's not helping, and they're like just being rebel about it. So still you have to observe and see what is that a child, it's gonna get most like, what is that one thing that child doesn't like to be attached to. There should always be one behavior of you, one behavior of parents which a child gets really annoyed of. So pick that one thing and use it against. You cannot punish your kid when they are above 12. But for example, a mother, whenever a mother does not talk to a boy or the son, boy gets really annoyed and irritated and sad and moody about it. So if a child is doing something like that, you should know what behavior you need to do in order to reflect what you're thinking about it. So every time shouting and conversation is not going to help. It varies from kid to kid. Some of the kids don't want their parents to do certain kind of behavior. So if the kid is doing anything wrong, if you're doing that behavior, they'll get the message. So our main motive is to give the child a message that if you're going to do this, our behavior will be like this for you. We are not going to entertain it. But if you're going to do something right, we'll reward you with something else.
Right, a strong, being assertive with your child is also important. Like,
yes,
you can't be in between things and expect that if you are confused, it will pass on to the child. No doubt
definitely.
about it.
Yeah.
So I think Dr. Rajiv still has one question. My baby is a fussy eater. She never eat without watching cartoons, and she eats very slowly. Even she finishes one chapati in 30 minutes. Really difficult to remove mobile from the dining.
Okay, like how I said in the beginning of this session, like how you taper down when your kid is addicted to watching anything in the screen when you are eating. You taper it down, like you let the kid eat like fully, and when little bit is left in the plate, then you switch off the phone. So even you are satisfied that kid has eaten the full stomach, and then yet it little bit more, but even if the kid is not eating that much, it's still fine. So in the end, you have to switch it off, and then after a few days, a little bit before and a little bit before, until it takes off completely.
Right. So, any other question, anyone? So, Poonam, you have anything else that you think that you missed out and you wanted to share with us? Anything that which is blanket rule for every parent? Because I'm sure all of you can get in touch with Poonam if you have any question. Yes, Poonam, please share.
The one thing which is like key to everything is like, no matter how much busy you are, you just spend little bit of time with your kids. Quality time is what your kid is going to remember throughout their life, and what's going to make you closer to your kids. That's going to be very mutual health relationship. So no matter how busy you are, no matter how much of work you have in a day, you go home and talk to your kid, and about how they are feeling now.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so that's one thing you should maintain.
Right. So Aparna wants to know. I will. This was a beautiful advice that you gave, Poonam. First, I want to thank you because this quality time definitely, that it should not never be the quantity. It should always be the quality key. Make lots of
Quality
memories.
time.
Like I always have this conversation with my husband that our child is one day gonna. We left our houses. We went somewhere else for studies, for life, for career, for everything. Our child is also going to leave one day. One thing that will give the child the foundation is the memories that we give our child. So we
Memories.
we really
All the
believe in
memories.
creating lots of memories with the child,
Yeah.
and that's
Yes.
it. I think that works for us. So I'm taking one last
Yeah.
question of Aparna because it's an important question and I don't want to miss it. So okay, there are two questions. How we can control postpartum behavior? Sometimes I get angry to my little one, and mother's guilt is really heartbreaking because all of us start feeling guilty. Why did I do this to my child?
Yeah. So, regret is like very bad thing. So instead of regretting about anything, you take some time. I'll suggest all the mother who's going through postpartum is, you have your own life as well. I understand that you are a mother and you'll always be a mother to your kid. But if you'll not be mentally healthy, if you'll not be complete onto yourself, you'll not be able to take good care of your kid. So I suggest every mother who is going through this phase is to get get something who's going to divert the mother to something they would love to do, like engaging in any kind of activities, meeting people, going out, talking to people, talking to more mothers, engaging in a hobby, or reading anything they like. Just 1 hour in a day. If you take just 1 hour in a day, it's going to act like switching off the system and restarting it again, and then you won't be angry anymore. So
It's like a
1 hour in a
reset,
day,
a
everybody
reset.
needs a break.
Yeah, it
Reset,
works as
yeah.
a reset. In fact,
It
I read
does.
a book which says a happy mother brings up a happy child, a anxious
Absolutely.
mother brings up a anxious child. So,
Yes.
instead of working on our child, I think we should all work on ourselves because the better we are, the better our child will be.
We always transfer our beliefs and our worries to our kids. So if we are worrying about something so much, regardless of what we have said to our kids, or if we have taught our kids about that thing, one day our kid is going to worry about the same thing. So we always pass on our beliefs and our worries. So we need to be like really, really careful in choosing one of those.
I totally agree with you. When my child was really small, my child was not scared of water, but I was very much scared of water. And eventually, when my child started growing, I saw that she was so scared of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really wanted her to fight that fear. But before that, I fought my fear because I was so scared of
Yes.
water. I had hydrophobia and I thought now I can swim in sea. But I really had to, if someone learns swimming in a month, I learned it in like 2 months. But
Mm-hmm.
I made it a point that I also fight my fear and I help my child get over the fear.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
that's the key. You fight with your own thing, and then the answer is in front of you.
yes, yes, I totally agree with you, Poonam, on that. So the last question of Yuvika, because
Yes.
I really feel, पता है मुझे रेडियो डीवा करते करते मुझे लगता है ना अगर किसी एक को भी वो आंसर मिल जाए जो वो ढूंढ रहा था ना, the job is
It's
done of
worth.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally worth it that we have stretched for 3 years now almost, and I feel good about it. So last question of Yuvika, my kids have huge age differences and they can't get along. One is in sixth and other is in 12th. It's very hard to manage and at the same time hard to handle both in the same manner. What should we do? Shall we wait for them to get more mature?
Yeah, definitely. So it's not a problem if your kid is having different age like that, and if they're not going. After a certain stage, they'll be just the siblings, regardless of what age difference they are having. Like I have a very close example. My sister is like exactly 7 years younger than me, and we were never together. But now I cannot imagine my life without her. So this is how it works. Does not matter that how much age difference your kids are having, and if they're not getting along, they're kids. They're gonna do that. If they'll get along and they'll play together and they'll be all sweet and nice, then they're not kids. They're maturing like beyond their age. Let them fight. That's all makes the memory for the future.
Such a privilege to have you. So thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you all to join me. And thank you, Divya, for giving me this platform to, to speak out about this thing and, to help out the parents, basically. Yeah.
so
Thank you so much.
it's our honor to have you, Poonam, and thank you on behalf of everyone who's attending it. And I will definitely I'll request all of you. Jaya ji has shared the YouTube link. Please subscribe to it. We are doing our content is very honest, just like today, and let more people listen to it. Our topics are very unique.